All right, my friends, I got the motherfucking platinum trophy in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The end of show. That's all you need to know.
The hardest way possible.
The hardest possible way. I can't wait to tell you about it. I'm the professor at Prof Plays Games, and he is Anthony the Dev at SummerSpeak on Twitter, and this is episode 194. This is our digging through the E3 rumors episode, talking about my Assassin's Creed Odyssey platinum trophy. We didn't mention that already. And Death Stranding, which is coming out apparently. So before we get to that, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. We will get to what I've been playing and what my weekend's been filled with. Similar to what you've been playing, I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? Every time I was on this weekend, I saw you on, and it told me exactly where you were. So yeah, I know exactly what you've been playing.
I've been playing a lot.
Yeah, we're obsessed with this game.
Again.
I know. I was thinking about it today. I played a ton through the end of the fall season into winter of 2018, and then I took a couple months off, and I came back hard.
Yeah.
And then with school being done and no more grading, I was able to grind out the platinum, which, to be honest, I wasn't that far away from it. Yeah. But we will get into that for sure later. But we are going to start with Death Stranding. It had a trailer this week.
It did. A 9-minute trailer.
The first one that I've watched from Death Stranding.
And that's probably okay, because this is the only one that actually explains what the game's about in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, better than the other ones as far as what I could tell. And then the Sony website actually does a much better job of explaining what it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you read Kojima's Twitter post about what it's about and then watch the trailer, I have it running in the back. You pick up on a lot of words and specific phrases throughout, and you're like, oh, I at least see thematically what the game is going to be about.
Right.
I mean, it's still batshit insane, but it has deep themes and connections around societies, the actual people in society and around you. They make, towards the end of the trailer, make a reference to we laid millions of lines of cables and we were still not connected, basically. Right. It's quite, I kind of feel like everything Kojima, it's pretty on the nose. He just is. He's not going to hide his themes. He doesn't want to. It's going to be wrapped in crazy visuals and gameplay and weirdness, but the actual themes are going to hit you over the head over and over and over and over, because that's what he wants to talk about.
I don't know him as a game developer that well, because I haven't really played that many of his games, although I've kind of observed from the outside. But his character names, right? He's just beating you over the head with it, like Bridges and Die Hardman and whatever else. The main organization that
Sam, the Max Reedus character, is working for is Bridges, which the game's about building bridges and strands between a fractured United States. And my God, just watching the trailer, as soon as it was going by, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why they chose the Decima engine, the Horizon Zero Dawn engine.
Mm-hmm. And that's because...
Look at just how the game played. It's just this huge open world exploration from, I see mountains off in the distance with snow, I'm going to go walk there.
My question for you is, looking at that trailer, do you think that there's stuff in the world, or did it seem really empty to you?
I don't know, honestly. It's hard to say if it is going to be empty. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a game very much about connections, that the places between connections is kind of empty and lonely.
Right.
That's the emphasis of, you're trying to get these civilizations together and more things happen in the world as you connect.
Right.
Oh God, I just got the trailer where the dude takes off his mask to reveal another mask.
That was so good. Oh, this is so weird.
It is weird.
I walked away from this trailer thinking, oh, this maybe is a game I'll play. Whereas up until now, I just haven't really been interested. I feel like it was weird, but there was, I think, a coherent through line for me, just as in terms of, just exploring the way that. Okay, never mind. No, I was trying to explain that through line. I'm like, actually, maybe I don't have a through line, but I like the idea. I don't know if you talked about it in a trailer or if it came out from some other text, that basically when you die, you don't really die. You just try to find a way to get back to the world that you were in.
Yeah. I mean, they've talked about that a lot. In the trailer, they talk about Hades.
Right.
And clearly, and then they shift to that World War I scene.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Where you're shooting skeletons, World War I skeletons.
Right.
It would be crazy if the game doesn't have a death. You want to die to switch between these worlds. and subvert that kind of trope in games.
Right, and even the idea that the enemies come back the same way, like, and the idea is maybe you don't really want to be killing them, but it could encourage like a pacifist run or something. There are some, just like you said, turning some tropes on its head that I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out overall, but in terms of the confusion about what it's about, I really do agree with you that the themes seem so overt that even if, like, I don't know, the moment-to-moment story is a little confusing, like it was for Metal Gear Solid 5 for me. I feel like overall you could kind of still get the gist.
Someone mentioned that I really should play the first hour of Metal Gear Solid 5.
The first hour is really good.
I've heard that, like, a guy was talking to me. He's like saying it was like the first hour is some of the best video game he's ever played.
I thought it was really good. Yeah, for sure.
And so I'm like, man, maybe I should just get it just for that. Because he didn't want to. No, I've never played. Again, I haven't played Metal Gears since 2. Because
it was a PS Plus game.
Was it?
Yeah.
Then I have it. I just don't realize it. I should just play the first hour.
You should. It was really good, I thought. And then it gets weird.
It's always going to get weird. It's just how much do you deal with Kojima weird.
Right.
And I will have to say, with all of this and however weird it is, I'm thrilled that there is at least someone making AAA games that can get this kind of money and production value for being super weird.
It's like the art house version of video games.
Kind of, but not even art house. Like I mentioned, because Guillermo del Toro's in here as God, what was del Toro's name?
Die Hard or Hardman?
No, Dead Man.
Dead Man. There we go.
He has a scar stitches across his forehead. If you think about like him making and getting all the awards and for The Shape of Water,
right?
Like and Pan's Labyrinth and all this weird art house movie type stuff that is really well received and does well financially. That's kind of where Kojima fits in video games.
Right. Well, I feel like he's bringing in a lot of those people. Like one of the characters in the game is the director for Valhalla Rising, which was that weird, no dialogue movie with Mads Mikkelsen. Mikkelsen? Yeah, who was in this game as well. Just kind of bringing all of his like weird Hollywood friends together
who want to tell strange stories. And that's one of the things with him, and I do look up to him as a designer, is how much he brings crazy visuals. He uses the medium of video games very well with the visuals, especially since Metal Gear Solid using the constraints or the system itself as gameplay. Like Metal Gear Solid has a great one. I probably mentioned before, like maybe you even saw it when we were back in high school. It's called Psycho Mantis, where you have to swap the controller port.
Yep.
To read your mind while you're playing with controller port 1, you have to move your controller to controller port 2 to actually win the fight. Which is it's a simple design choice, but it's a crazy design choice. Like,
right, that you never would think of.
And the other one from that game that really got me was there was a point in it early in the game when it's like you have a communicator and you can set it to whatever frequency you want. And there's something that said like, oh, you're in the game. They're like, man, you need to get a hold of this person. The frequency must be on the back of the case. And you have a CD case in your inventory. And I was trying to like flip it around because you can look at it in 3D and there's nothing there. It's physically look at the back of the Metal Gear Solid video. The case, because the screenshot on the back shows you the communication channel to talk to the person that you need to meet.
Oh, that's crazy.
Also, it's just crazy.
Card too?
Yeah, that's Psycho Mantis. It will read different, and it will, if you have specific Konami saves on there, it will say different things depending on what's on your memory card.
That's freaky.
But I mean, it's stuff like that where I'm like, as a designer, he thinks on those meta levels as well.
Right.
And it's cool. Like that is something that's unique to video games, and he uses it. And so I'm very curious what he'll do in a game like this, because he always throws things like that in.
I feel like that potential added to the fact that I think it looks good, and I feel like the gameplay looks fun. Like it could be a really interesting game, whereas before I thought it was just going to be bonkers, weird, whatever. And I honestly didn't think it was going to come out before the other two games, Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us 2.
No,
I can't believe
this is their fall game.
Yeah, November 8th.
He posted a tweet 2 days ago, that was basically him. It was him thanking Guerrilla 1 for their help in making the game and letting him use the engine and the whole thing, and the support. But they only started 3 years ago.
That's so quick.
Which, holy shit.
That means also building the studio, not just starting the game, right?
Just him. Yeah, because he's formed his studio. I assume there were probably a few other people than just him, but...
Oh, yeah.
I know choosing the engine, there was a long time ago, probably right when it was starting, like Mark Cerny of Sony and everything, worked heavily with Kojima to figure out the engine and the technology, to help him along to get it started there.
Right.
Man, it makes me wonder what Horizon 2 is going to be like.
I mean, it's going to blow the doors off the PS5 launch.
Because I assume it's a PS5 launch title at this point, or launch window. But the amount of work that they've probably put into the Decima engine for this game,
right?
Continuing to evolve and to improve it, because what we always complain about Horizon, the facial animations weren't great.
No,
the facial animations in Death Stranding are amazing.
Yeah, they look really good.
Like the mocap stuff is really good.
Right. So anything they do here is going to improve Horizon 2.
Yeah,
which is a win for Guerrilla as well. So
yeah,
I'm excited. This is a nice big title for fall. That's, I feel like Sony doesn't really do a lot of fall releases. I think all their first party stuff is really front loaded in the year, and they let the third parties kind of take over the fall. So it's kind of nice to see them put out one of those 3 main games. And they keep continuing to say that Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and of course Death Stranding now are all PS4 games, even though I'm sure you can play them on PS5. So it's nice. The rumors, I think anyone who's seen Jason Schreier on Twitter this week, basically that Last of Us 2 was supposed to be fall this year, and they got pushed to spring, which is not unusual for Naughty Dog. But that Ghost of Tsushima is also next spring. And that seems crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, they'll probably space them by a few months.
But even that still seems like...
Yeah.
I thought we'd like one next year and one the year after that, because it's just both of those seem like such big games that they need more space. But I'd be happy.
And they'll determine that probably as the year goes on. Maybe they'll push Ghost of Tsushima farther out to give more space.
Right.
Because they're not under any... that's the thing, is Sony as a company is not really under any pressure to put these things out in a specific fiscal year. Like, sure, they might take a little bit of a hit if they're like, yeah, we'll adjust, but they have such success financially right now that general investment and everything there will probably just, cool, you know what you're doing to release things when you think is best, so go.
Well, and they also don't need these big releases anymore to push console sales.
No.
Like, they're already selling like crazy.
No.
I think there's deals right now. Or no, it's the State of Play? Nope, that's not right. Days of Play.
Days of Play is starting now?
June. Oh, shit, it is
Or is
June.
it
oh, my God.
4th?
I think it starts Monday or Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be tomorrow.
But it's Days of Play. There's get a Pro for like $350 with 1 terabyte. I think that's standard for them anyways.
Oh, God, should I upgrade to a Pro?
No, you should wait for 5. Yeah, no. But there's VR bundles.
Oh, $350. It's $350 for $350. A Pro.
Right. Oh, and then you get really the limited edition Days of Play PlayStation 4 is $300. Kind of basically have the X, the symbols, triangle, circle, X and square on the front of it.
Oh,
Pro,
right.
$350.
Yeah.
But then the VR bundles, which
$250.
Are pretty well priced. And then the PlayStation Hits games, The Last of Us, Uncharted 4, Ratchet & Clank, all those ones are $10.
But there's also $20 deals, and Spider-Man is one of them.
So
I'm going to totally pick that one up.
Well, you should, absolutely. The way that they worded it, though, was confusing, because it says, it shows like Spider-Man, God of War, Days Gone, and it says starting at 20, and you don't know which one's which. Is Spider-Man actually going to be 20?
I don't know. I guess that I watched the trailer, and I assumed that they were all 20.
No, because Ben confirmed that Days Gone was 40.
Okay. Maybe it's 20, 30, 40? I don't know which one is. I bet Spider-Man's 20.
I bet God of War's 22.
Oh. Yeah, they've been out longer.
Yeah, and I've seen God of War on sale for 30 recently, so I can see it going down to 20.
Oh, it's June 7th is when they start. Okay.
June 7th, okay. It's basically right before E3 starts.
Yeah, but then they also have DualShocks for $40. I'm totally buying another DualShock.
You only have the original one still?
And I have a replacement.
Cool.
I broke my original. Or
you throw it?
No, the joystick just stopped working. It stopped responding to upper right wouldn't respond really well on the left joystick, and I opened it up and tried and blew it out with air and everything, trying to get it better, but it wouldn't get fixed, so I replaced it with a new one. I actually blame Diablo 3 for that. Platinuming Diablo 3 killed that controller.
That's worth it. Speaking of, I forgot to mention one of the other games that only I care about, I think, is that MLB The Show 19 is also on one of those the sales. So I'm not sure if that's going to be 20 or 30 or whatever.
They don't even have that on their webpage.
I don't. It lists it here: Days Gone, God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, MLB The Show, starting at $19. Like,
yeah, I know. I'm looking at the PlayStation.com Days of Play page. Oh, there it is. No. Maybe I'm looking at a different one.
Yeah, I'm looking at a different one. There's the top Google search doesn't even list MLB, and it's the second one down does.
Oh, okay, it's the blog post. Yeah, but yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, we'll get Death Stranding this year. I still can't believe that game's getting done in effectively 3 years, just a little bit more.
It's crazy. It is crazy. He's a guy that kind of, I think, is known to take longer, right?
Clearly and that's one of the things with this. I'm like, clearly he had a vision of the game he wanted to make.
Right.
And this is the game that Konami probably wouldn't let him make.
Right. He's been wanting to jump on something else instead of do another Metal Gear for a while, I think.
Yep, and this is probably what he's been just itching to do for a long time.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Well, is this day one for you?
Day one now. Watching that and everything, I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Give me this insanity again. I'm up for it.
It's going to be a ride, that's for sure.
It will.
Here's a game that's not a ride. This is not a Kojima game, but this is a game for Steam. It's 6L4KHTV BBQ, which is pretty fun. HKTTV. So check that game out on Steam. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but enjoy it. Let us know at Prof Plays Games at SummerSpeak if you picked it up. Next, we're going to move into just in general some of the E3 rumors that have been popping up and what we think. And before we get into any of them, I need you to explain to me what the fuck is happening with Larian and their website that shows a 3. What is this? People are saying it's Baldur's Gate 3.
It sounds like Baldur's Gate 3. This is on my list of rumors. So of course, everyone put it up originally. They're like, oh, it's Original Sin 3.
That's what I thought, right?
But when you look at the page source code, it's specifically text of the images are called Baldur's Gate 3 reveal. And some of the text in the thing in the bank are copyright Wizards of the Coast and Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Like text in the source code. No, I don't think it's fake. I think this is real. There is no better company out there to take the mantle and do a true sequel to Baldur's Gate and D&D computer RPGs.
Right.
But I think it's true. They may have changed it by this point, but whenever
do you think they did it on purpose, left it up there, or is that an accident?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was an accident.
Your best guess. Oh, okay.
I don't think they intended. They just people making the website don't think about that. One, because it's no one in Larian probably making the website.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
It's some external. It's probably a contract company that does websites like that. Most companies like Larian's not. Honestly, they're not big enough to probably want to do have their own web designers in-house.
Right. Have someone else doing it.
It's not like I remember PopCap is a weird place back when I was there originally because we had web designers, because popcap.com was the place where you could go to actually play the games. You could play web games on there and you could download the games from our website.
Right.
So we needed web designers. That's not how normal game companies work. They don't care about their web, doing a lot of their web stuff. That's not to say Bungie does a lot of their own web stuff because they want to hook into the where you can look at your characters and stuff,
right?
In Destiny, but Larian, no, I bet they're too busy making Original Sin 2 and things like that. So
right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think this is true. I really do think it's Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think it's faked. I don't think it's.
So this is Wizards of the Coast going to Larian and saying, "You guys are good at what you do. We want you to make the third one in this series."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think because it's been a long time since there's been a straight D&D game.
Yeah.
And they've become very picky about their digital strategy. And they are... Because I've seen it a lot. I've wondered, a month ago, I was asking a friend who has contacts there. I was like, could you just ask what's going on with, D&D games at all? And he was saying he's asked before, and it was basically being told that they're just they really care about the quality, and they're not going to give it out until they're absolutely ready to and feel like they have a company that wants to do it and they trust to do it.
It's like the Marvel Studios, game studios approach now, where instead of just passing it out to anyone, they want to see someone who's going to take care of it and is really good.
Yeah.
Which we got Spider-Man.
And let's be honest, Larian doing like Divinity Original Sin and Original Sin 2, they want to do this type of game.
Right.
Like they're the ones pushing the genre forward in the absence of these Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, the old BioWare stuff where BioWare stopped doing that.
Right.
And then Atari losing the license, not having the license, and Wizards just getting it back. So yeah, I think it's real. I am super excited. I want a 5th edition D&D game.
Right. Well, kind of to tie with that is the news that we're getting Baldur's Gate 2, Neverwinter Nights,
yeah,
the other ones I can't remember, on consoles, starting in Switch specifically.
Planescape Torment.
There we go. Thank you. Planescape Torment.
That's the best of the bunch.
Even better than Baldur's Gate 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
At least to me. I think it is the absolute pinnacle of that type of game.
Right.
From storytelling standpoint. Because they're all basically just wanting to tell stories.
Right.
And Planescape Torment is the best story out of all of them. It's the most unique.
Well, it's exciting that they're coming to Switch for me, because I just I think I have Baldur's Gate 2 on PC, and it'd just be nice to snuggle up on my couch and just read the story.
Yeah, that's a lot of reading.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be sitting at my computer reading a novel. So yeah, it feels right on the Switch, as long as the UI is either scalable or good enough to read. Because sometimes I feel like it's a little small.
We'll see. That was I'm pretty stoked about those rumors.
Yeah. Do you think we'll find out at E3?
Yeah. This ties into one of mine that I saw that I've been seeing that GameStop has added dozens of not available SKUs for Switch games, like 22 or 23.
Oh.
Like, it's in their system as a bunch of games that are not available, that are just listed title, not available, but dates are around E3 when they'll be showing up.
Showing up in terms of not
like
for sale,
they can take pre-orders for them.
Got it. Right.
So there's a lot of games being announced for Switch at E3. At least a couple dozen, 2 dozen.
It seems like the right time where people have realized, okay, this is legit. This thing is successful, and let's port our old games to it.
Yes, and I think that solidifies the rumors there.
But one of them that's not coming to Switch is Witcher 3.
I don't. I've seen that one too. Beyond you saying it, I've seen it around, and I think it's a pipe dream overall.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What was the company? Panic Button?
Yep.
Because they did Warframe, and they've done great Switch ports.
Absolutely. The pinnacle.
Just great.
Porting the Switch.
I just don't know if The Witcher 3 can actually... If there's a company out there that can do it, they're the ones to do it. But my God, that enormous, very beautiful open world, I have a hard time seeing them being able to make that work on a Switch hardware.
Right.
Because it barely even worked on console hardware.
I think when you brought that up, you said if anything it's going to be Gwent, which makes sense to me. Although they haven't even brought Gwent to iOS or Android yet, so I think that would be first. Yeah,
it could also just be Thronebreaker as well. Not even the online one, just being like, here's the single player Gwent experience.
Thronebreaker would be great because I still have not got around to that, but again, having it on Switch, if it ran well, would be nice.
Yeah, so I'm dubious, very dubious of a Witcher 3 Switch port.
Yep.
If it did come to Switch, though, would you get it again?
Oh, yeah. I'd buy it for the 4th time.
Immediately?
Xbox, PS, day one.
Day one?
Day one. I'd start playing it again. I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What other crazy things? Talking about Switch, I had one other weird Switch one, which is, I think it's totally a pipe dream, and maybe I want it, but I saw other people being like, oh, this could happen. Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I didn't even see that one.
I just saw people talking about it. It's really one of those things. I think it's more people hoping than...
Yeah, right.
It was mostly tied around to that GameStop adding a bunch of SKUs. Like, well, what other games? What could it be if there's any Atlas stuff coming out that hasn't? And that's when I still hold out hope that one day it will get ported.
Yeah.
Because it would be really sad for it to just die on the Wii U, basically.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it sold very well. So maybe that's going to hold it back. But
maybe
with a larger audience on Switch who are kind of hungry for those types of games, it seems like a really good fit.
Yeah. Because I'm still consider getting a Wii U just to play that game. Or maybe I should see if there's a Wii U emulator and I could play it through there.
I'm sure there is. I keep seeing...
Probably doesn't work that well.
That's the thing. I keep seeing people talking about updates to a Wii U emulator. It's not running great. Yeah, I've got a friend's TV in my garage, my Wii U hooked up to it, and then that game in the Wii U. But I have not started playing it yet because this semester was crazy. But now it's over. Some crazy rumor that I heard is that Xbox is going to reveal some part of their new console on their stage. That doesn't seem like a...
That's not crazy.
I know, I was being sarcastic.
Okay.
About being crazy. Thing that's crazy that drives me a little crazy is the rumor, I think we talked about this already, about George R.R. Martin consulting on a FromSoft game that's going to be revealed this E3.
I mean, he confirmed that he's working with a Japanese company.
Correct.
In his blog. And this From thing, where he's been doing stuff for them, that rumor pre-exists him ever saying he's working with a Japanese company.
Right. If you remember, dear listeners, a month or two ago, I brought that rumor to the podcast, and we were both like, yeah, right.
And I guess I'm not shocked at this point. And then I'm wondering how something like that would come to be in the first place. Because I don't take Martin as a person that would be playing Bloodborne or Dark Souls.
No.
He doesn't sound like he plays a lot of games in general.
No,
so I really wonder how if this is true, would pitch so that they could get Martin working out with them. And everything the rumors say is it's not Game of Thrones.
No, definitely not. And that would, I think that'd be terrible if it was Game of Thrones. I would like to see him consulting on something that was not in the Game of Thrones universe for a Bloodborne type game.
But how does that even come about? And so that's the story I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, fine, whatever game. You're working on a game, whatever. I want to know how this even actually happens.
I assume Miyazaki is a fan of Game of Thrones and like reached out to Martin. That's the only thing I can think of because I don't think Martin's a fan of Miyazaki, you know? So.
No.
Yeah, but it's also crazy to me that this rumor seems pretty credible, but Sekiro just came out and I can't.
I found some other stuff when they were talking about this rumor that when Sekiro came out, Miyazaki said that From was working on 2 other games.
Well, I guess that would make sense.
They were working on 3 games. If you can include Sekiro in that, they were working on 3 games at different stages of development. So Sekiro was the farthest one along. There's probably one that was in production when Sekiro was coming out, and one that was in pre-production.
Yeah. I can't see. I'm trying to think of what stage that would be on. Probably Microsoft. But if they're going to come out on stage and talk about it, doesn't that mean that it's going to come out next year then?
I don't know. I mean, let's go back to Death Stranding. When was the first trailer for that?
16?
Something like that. Yeah, 16. Like shortly after. I mean, it could still be a couple years.
But that's Kojima, though. I think he has a huge, long hype cycle for his games, whereas we saw Sekiro, a year and a half before it came out?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would like to, if it's true, I'd like to see it sooner than later.
Yeah. But I mean, if they did it now and then said it wasn't coming out until 2020 sometime.
That makes sense. That's fine.
That probably seemed, I would think anything that From announces is a 2020 game. Sometime in 2020.
And do you see it on Microsoft stage?
Yeah, because, Sony doesn't have a stage. So.
Well, yeah. But there's also the PC stage, I guess, which is a much smaller stage, I think.
No. It would be there. Or, whatever publisher. Because, I mean, Bloodborne was Sony. Dark Souls was Namco Bandai.
Yeah.
And then Activision was Sekiro. So, I mean, From doesn't publish their own stuff.
Right.
So it could be whatever stage the publisher is doing. Which could be Microsoft. It could be a different company.
Yeah, it seems like the biggest guess is most likely, I mean.
Yeah. What other rumors I see? Oh, also with Microsoft, a lot of rumors around a new Fable game.
Right, and that rumor's been going on for at least a year. Where
swirling
Playground
a lot.
Games, Playground Games has been working on Fable. So if they are, I wouldn't be surprised to see it at this E3 because Microsoft is coming big they have to come big with games. So
yeah, but is it a game for this gen or next gen?
I think everything they're going to announce is for next gen. Why would you put anything? I mean, okay. So anything that's announced for next gen, you can play on Xbox. They've already said that you can play the next games on Xbox One. So technically it's for both. But I think that the push is going to be for Nextbox, whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, then. So, yeah. It's one of the few IPs that they have sitting around that they haven't done anything with in a long time.
Right. Well, it's something the Xbox fan base, it's something that they get to have. They own Fable, basically. It's not a platform, Which is sad
to say, because I liked the first one, and the second one didn't like really much after that.
My brother and I were playing Gears 4. Yeah. And when he got his PS4, he moved his Xbox into my mom's room. So my mom started playing Xbox, and she was going through his games. She's like, "What's Fable?" And then just played them all. Okay. Just one after the other. So I guess my mom would be excited about a new Fable.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Let's see here. Other rumors for E3 coming up. I think we've hit all the big ones that I can.
Yeah, the only other one that we hit that.
Oh, sorry. Before you get to whatever you're going to say, Dragon Quest and Smash, which we've been talking about for a while.
Yeah, there's been, it seems right.
More substantiated rumors.
I mean, it's going to happen at some point, right?
It has to. It's really Japan-focused character, but still plays in the West, and then it kind of ties into Dragon Quest XI hitting the Switch sooner than later.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I think so.
My only other one was we're going to get the rumors just circulating that we're going to get a Cyberpunk release date.
Yeah, that seems likely, but
I question if we'll get an actual release date.
You think we'll get a window?
Window or just a year. And it's going to be 2020. Everyone is, God, there's still the rumors going around. It's going to be at 2019. I'm like,
no way.
You're delusional. You're so delusional at this point.
No.
I think Schreier had a tweet where he's like, yeah, they wanted to try to get it out 2019. I'm like, bullshit. Like, maybe someone on the dev team hoped 2019, but I'm like, there's no way. There is no way you're making a game that huge and get it out in 2019 at the quality bar and trying to be that they set with Witcher 3.
Right.
Like, no.
Well, I think last year and this year, again, it's behind closed doors, hands-off demo.
Yep.
Excuse me. I don't feel like it's going to come out until it's going to be playable by the press.
The earliest I see it playable by press will be Gamescom this year.
Wow, that's earlier than I even thought.
But I mean, that's end of summer. And that's the earliest. Because it just feel like that's a European-focused convention. Easy for CD Projekt to get to.
Right.
And really be there and managing everything. But even then, probably not. And maybe it's hands-on where they're just playing the demo that they're showing at E3.
Yeah.
That's possible. But no, I still hold that and because I've seen that they're like, oh, it's going to be a spring 2020. I'm like, it's not spring. It's going to be a fall 2020 game.
I could see them doing summer. When Witcher 3 came out in May.
That's true. I could see them trying sometime in May, June. Could be at earliest, maybe. But how long was Witcher 3 delayed?
Honestly, I have no idea because Witcher 3 wasn't on my radar until 2 weeks before it came out.
Yeah.
But I know it was delayed once or twice. So, well, especially with CD Projekt Red
delayed again.
Yep. With CD Projekt Red being kind of oriented toward PC, where there's not really that fall release, buying for the holiday thing.
Yeah.
Like there is for consoles, physical copies for people to buy when they're in a department store or whatever. Another rumor, I have a question for you about Ubisoft. So there's two things from Ubisoft, maybe three. One, Watch Dogs 3.
I actually think that's pretty. I don't even think that's a rumor. It's going to probably happen.
Well, I mean, it's a rumor because we don't know. It's not confirmed yet.
Yeah,
but
I think it's pretty confirmed.
It seems like a lock, especially since they went back and updated Watch Dog 2's ending to kind of hint towards London. The question I have for you is about Assassin's Creed. In that, I don't know if you saw that trailer where Ubisoft talked about, here's the things that we're going to talk about at E3, and it showed, For Honor and Rainbow Six Siege and whatever else, and then it showed really quickly game updates. And when they said game updates, they showed like a half-second or 1 second clip from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I'm wondering, because they put it in the video, it seems like they would have to talk about Odyssey then. And I wonder what that update for Odyssey is going to be.
Is this the last thing? Because this would roll right into what we're playing really well.
Oh, sure. Real quick for that then. Also, Ubisoft is rumored to be starting a subscription service.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, and I think that's
all the big publishers are going to do that.
Yeah, it sounds great for their type of games.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get back to the Assassin's Creed then. So what do you think that's going to be?
I don't think I have a hard time seeing it being just straight up in a big DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because what I've been playing is a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah. Yep.
So I finished all the Tales of Greece that are available right now. And then I was like, screw it, I'm going into Fate of Atlantis. And that is huge. Holy crap, that first episode.
Really?
Yeah, I probably put 12, 13 hours just into the first episode.
Oh my god, that's like a whole nother fucking game.
It is a whole nother game. You'll get to it and you're like, this is like a microcosm of the entire big game.
Right.
And it definitely feels, I'm like, okay, I don't know where it's going. So episode 2, I think, drops Tuesday.
Yeah, this week. Coming week.
So that's cool, but I don't know where episode 3 will end storyline wise, but it definitely is leading me to believe that this is the end of the Assassin's Creed Odyssey story.
Okay.
Just the setup of it. I mean, it's Atlantis stuff, so it's doing a lot more mix with the modern and Cassandra.
You see Layla again?
Yes.
Or you see Cassandra in modern day too?
No, Layla.
No, Layla. I know, but do you also see Cassandra?
No, it's post that. It's post.
I see.
It's post. It's post Cassandra's death with the staff changing hands.
Got it.
And that has a lot of important ramifications. So we're moving the story forward from in that way, in the modern storyline, and then delving into it feels like it's wrapping up a lot of Cassandra stuff as well.
I can see then your thoughts about why there wouldn't be another big DLC drop, because we're kind of ending.
Yeah, I actually think by the end of episode 3, it seems like this is set up to end the overall Assassin's Creed story. Assassin's Creed Odyssey story.
Yeah. Right.
And Leela's story, I think, even.
What if their DLC drop was like 2 or 3 episodes where you play as Barnabas?
Yeah, I mean, it could be fun stuff like that, or just additional quests. I mean, they've talked that there's going to be more...
Lost Tales from Greece.
Yeah, more of that stuff.
And those things are fun. I think the writing on those things are really good.
I loved going through all... And they were meaty.
Did you... God. I forget which one it was, but basically... Oh, it's Barnabas' daughter, where you find Barnabas' daughter.
Yes.
And did you do the thing where when you finish, she's like, no, I'm going to stay here unless the gods come and burn my silos or whatever, I'm going to stay here. At that point, did you then burn the silos down?
No.
Oh.
I let her stay there.
Okay. But you know what happens if you do?
She comes with you?
It starts another quest. As soon as you light one of them on fire, you get a brand new quest, and then your quest is to burn all the silos down and then go talk to her. And then she's like, I guess the gods are telling me to go with my dad, so she comes with you.
Okay.
I was just like, it was weird hinting. I'm like, if I just like knocked fire arrow, and I was like, if I do this, is something going to happen? And I did it, and it lit on fire, and then started a new quest. I was like, oh my god, this is so brilliant. This is great.
Oh, that's really cool. No, I didn't.
That's something
do that
you might not even see, you know?
No, I didn't see it at all.
So good.
Yeah, those were really fun. I like doing all of those.
So maybe the game update will just be more of those, maybe like more mythical beasts.
I could see that. I just have a hard time. The only thing I can see is an update that maybe bridges this game to whatever the next one is. Mm-hmm. But beyond, somehow to bridge like why you're going into Norse after this.
I feel like there's so much opportunity to take Alexios or Cassandra, and they lived for a really long time with that staff, and see what they did. And I don't know if it's exploring that much in the Elysium.
Elysium starts talking about it. Like there's stuff that makes you realize the consequences of that.
Right.
Of like when you have Persephone talking about like you will live and love, and they will die, and you will continue to repeat that.
Yeah, that sounds like hell.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah, that really does sound like hell.
Yeah, because Cassandra is the keeper. Yeah, the keeper. Right. And Leela is what is she? She is the heir of memories. And the keeper is to hold the staff for the heir.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Not that Cassandra completely understands it, but
right.
She starts understanding it as you play through this DLC. It's really good.
Well, I thought it was exciting to see that there's game updates coming for Odyssey, whatever it's going to be. And I really don't think they're going to talk about Valhalla yet.
Probably not. I mean, because they said they're skipping this year.
Yep.
So yeah,
which
I
is
think
good. We have so much to
we'll
play,
see it.
So.
We'll see stuff. They won't. The only thing I can see is they might do a tease on it.
Just like the title.
The title, maybe like a quick like logo segment, setting tone more than anything.
They might as well, since they kind of spoiled it anyways in Division 2. So.
Yeah. They're not holding this too close to the chest.
Well, it's not a fucking surprise. We know they're working on another one. So but I think Watch Dogs 3 is going to be the big one for their conference.
But yeah, I like playing it. I love it. I love this game so much.
So good. It's hard to put down. Like I finally ground out the platinum last night, which was a fucking crazy ride. And then I thought, I got to put this down. I got to have a palate cleanse. But then I'm talking about it with you now. I'm like, maybe I should play it after I get off the podcast. And I was like, God damn it.
Just do Hidden Blade. Just start going through it.
Oh, I really want to. Fuck, I might. God damn it. So the platinum last night, basically I had to do the underwater locations, which I basically busted out a map a couple nights ago and just started hitting them. And I realized I only had like 6 or 7 that I hadn't done naturally. So that was easy to do. And then the last one was the Hippocrates quest line, which I basically had started like 60 hours ago. And then I did the first one, and the second one was Let My Patients Go, which I had not started yet. So I had left that for some reason because I wasn't that interested in it, which is funny because it's like the last one for me to do, and it's a bronze trophy. It was easy as hell. The problem is that in that quest line, when you go to Boeotia, to go find those slaves to release them, and then you have to bring the leader to a special location for them to get taken away or whatever to be free. I could go into that area and I could release the 2 slaves that were not the leaders. And then when I went up to the slave that was the leader, the first time she was already outside the cage, but I couldn't interact with her. I was like, weird. And I kept trying to like get her to move where she was supposed to go, and I couldn't do it. So I reloaded the save. And when I reloaded the save, she was in the cage, but laying down, and I opened the cage, unlocked it to get to her. And then there's no dialogue. There's no option for me to pick her up or move her or anything. She's just laying on the ground and I cannot interact with her. So I kept reloading saves for like 45 minutes. Sometimes she'd be laying down, sometimes she'd be outside the cage. I could never interact with her. So then I went back to an earlier save before I'd even finished the underwater locations, and then tried to run over there. And as I was running over there, I stepped into a water pool in Thebes, and then all of a sudden fell through the geometry, and I was just in the bottom of the map looking up at the whole Assassin's Creed Odyssey map, floating in nothing. So my game just started just to bust last night. I was like, I'm not getting this platinum. I've spent 100 hours trying to get this thing, and I'm not going to get it. And I just brute forced it. I kept reloading, and then the slave would be in different spots, and finally she was standing halfway up the mountain where she was supposed to go. So I basically I was slashing her with my swords. I was trying to push her with my body, and she kept going back down the mountain, but I needed to go up the mountain. So then I started shooting arrows at her feet. And as I shot arrows at her feet, she kept trying to back away from me. So I basically backed her up the mountain by shooting arrows at her feet. And when she got to the very top of the mountain, there's like a little stool there where she sits down and he talks to you or whatever. When she got to that area, then it triggered. It said I could talk to her, but only in a certain location. If I moved anywhere else, I couldn't hit the talk button. So I had to like position myself perfectly and hit it. And then it triggered. And then it was all good after that. It was seriously like 45 minutes of just trying to get this woman up the hill. And I was just like, I looked online and people were like having the same issue back in November, and I thought they would have patched it by now, but apparently not. I was just like, I'm not going to get the trophy because of this stupid side quest, but it worked. I finally got to platinum and just felt pretty good about myself.
Honestly, if it's a bug that they know about and hasn't been patched since then, it's a complicated bug.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or incredibly hard to reproduce. What put it into that state is the thing. Like, because I went through it and I never experienced this at all. Like when you're talking about the quest, I'm like, oh, I know which quest you're talking about. Yeah, I just talked to everyone and then they just did what they were supposed to do. Like,
yep, not for me.
Like, I just went through it. But I never started any of these quests. I didn't do any of the Hippocrates quests until I had actually like finished the main game.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I never went back to like do that, like those his side quests until after I had completed Atlantis, and I had the Atlantis quest line and the Bloodline quest line.
Right.
Like, I was done with those, and then I went and did the extra stuff. So, yeah, like, there has to be some weird trigger state that gets set up there if you accept it earlier and don't finish it and do other things that just breaks shit.
Well, and that's what your advice was, like, just reload to a save before you started. And I was like, I started at like 70 game hours ago.
Yeah, God.
So I cannot do that. But it worked. I did.
You got it. You got it, though.
Super short, and then I finally got it, and I was just like jubilant. And I felt, it's really nice to get platinums for games that just mean a lot to you. I still need to work on my Witcher 3 platinum. But it's great. And I've like, okay, I'm done. And now I'm like, no, I kind of want to play some more.
That's how it kind of felt, like finishing up the first chapter episode of Fate of Atlantis. I was like, well, what else can I do in this game? What haven't I done that I need to do? And so I just started scouring the map, like just opening the map, zooming in, and looking for any black, yellow exclamation point quest I hadn't done.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a few, and I found them, and they're beefy.
Yeah. I still have so many of those, and there's so much. That's like half my map or more. Yeah. Like I could spend easily another 100 hours on this game, or even more than that, 150.
Yeah.
God, what a great value.
No, it's insane. I have to figure out like what the dev team or whoever in Ubisoft was like, okay, so we know what Assassin's Creed has been in the past. Here's our pitch for what we want to do with Assassin's Creed. And going like, we don't want the player to feel like a more like open world linear game. And we don't want them to feel like super stealthy assassin. We want to make them feel like a god. Because wow, it's just playing this in the new DLC. It's quite a departure from other Assassin's Creeds. And like that calculation that was made that being like, we think people will like this better, and going with it.
Well, it's smart to take the break, come back with Origins, which is very similar to Odyssey, and present something different. To take a break and come back and do the same thing just wouldn't quite make sense. So I'm glad they did. Obviously, you are too.
I am very glad, but it's just one of those things of being like, wow, I feel so different. They make the player feel very different in Assassin's Creed Odyssey and probably Origins than previous Assassin's Creeds.
Yes, absolutely. And just the way the whole structure is different.
Yeah.
Too.
And it's weird whenever you talk to like whoever pitched that design saying, we want to radically change how people feel while playing this game. Whatever they've been accustomed to, we're changing that.
Right.
And it's cool, and I'm glad they did, but most big companies would be like, nope, no way in hell.
Yeah, I feel like they do a good job of taking risks.
Yeah, and I think it's going to pay. This is paying off for them in this work.
Yeah, I've enjoyed so many Ubisoft games recently that pass actually seems like a good deal.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ubisoft, another game I played this week was with Brad, and this message is just for Brad, by the way. Forza, Forza, Forza. He was giving me shit last week because I said Forza. So we played. It's a
Z-A.
Yeah, kind of like pizza. Forza.
No, it's only one Z.
We played no, that's actually from the developers. But we played what's it called? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Okay.
For a couple hours the other night. And that was pretty fun. Kind of this tactical shooter where you're kind of on a single player, you have 3 other teammates, AI teammates. You kind of like have set up their shots and then kind of execute at the same time, moving into bases or whatever and taking people out. But if you play with a partner, you only have one other person. so it's just him and I infiltrating, and boy, oh boy, do I play stupidly. I was playing it just like going in guns blazing, and that is not a game where you can do that. So I just kept dying, and then because I was dead, he had himself versus like 10 people and he was dying, so we kept resetting because I was just too impatient. But we played for a couple hours and got through the first major story beat, and it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. That's a game I haven't even thought about touching. I don't know.
Yeah, I played that demo. I don't know if you had downloaded that demo a couple of years ago. It kind of feels to me like what I would want Division to be, where Division just felt very punishing and very bullet spongy, where this is a lot less punishing and a lot less bullet spongy. It kind of feels, as long as you're being a ghost and being smart and tactical, it feels very doable. whereas Division just felt like busy work, just like pumping bullets into something and it's just still alive. This one is just like very realistic, like a couple bullets, they're down. A couple bullets, you're down.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So, yeah. So it was fun, a lot of fun. We'll play that again. It's kind of nice hitting summer where I do have some time to play.
It's true.
Although finishing Odyssey, I kind of want to like, read a book or watch some movies before I dive into something big again.
Good plan. Good plan. I have realized I'm like, this weekend I've pretty much all my actual free time has been spent playing Odyssey, not doing the other things that I'm like, oh yeah, there's a book I want to read. Oh yeah, there's videos I want to watch. Oh, okay. Got to figure out when to actually make time for those. But it's not like I'm complaining about Odyssey. So,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk away from that game when there's just, as I keep going into the new DLCs or the Lost Tales of Greece or whatever, the writing just keeps getting better. And I'm in love with Cassandra. I think she's a great character. And I know Alexios has written, similarly or even exactly the same, but it just comes across as so engaging to me.
Yeah, she's great. I highly recommend the Fate of Atlantis stuff. The writing is great in that one.
Awesome.
Definitely that feeling of Greek gods fighting, and you're like, who do I trust? I don't trust any of these assholes.
Yeah.
They're all assholes. Which makes sense. Family drama. But yeah, I recommend. It's a lot of fun. So get to those. Get through Hidden Blade and then get into Atlantis DLC.
Maybe I'll go fire up my PS4. God damn it.
Twist your arm.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard to. Well, that was 194 of Prof and Dev Play Games. Next week, goddamn, it's E3.
It's the start.
Microsoft will have done their conference, so we'll talk about Microsoft next week, and then we'll probably, at that point next week, tell you our E3 release schedule for our podcast. Usually we do one per conference or one per day, so we'll see what we want to do this year, this summer.
Yeah.
But he's at Summer Speak, I'm at Prof Plays Games, and we will see you next week for episode 195 and E3.
All right. Later, everyone.